Yeah, I'll be here catching. About Jamestown hasn't changed at all since.
It hasn't changed a bit. I played here in 1977. I signed with the Mets, #1 pick, and Jamestown was in the league. It was the Expos at the time, right. So it hasn't changed much.
What's the field and stuff? How'd you do against the Expos? Do you remember playing here at this field?
I do remember playing here. We did pretty well, actually, against them. I remember hitting a home run here that hit the top of the second fence in right field and broke the top of the fence off for a home run, yes. I was a shortstop. I played short all the way through my minor league career, basically, until I tore my rotator cuff. Right. And then that's what moved me to second base.
If Scrappy ever gets into a link in the wiki, it'll link to Wally Backman.
Yeah, no, it's just, that's my style. I played the game scrappy. I played the game hard. I played the game to win. I try to instill those things in my players. How to play the game clean, but play the game hard. The one thing I try to instill in the players is you don't let anybody out hustle you. That's one thing that doesn't take any ability. So you should never get out hustled by an opposing team.
Had vaulted into first place in the National League East. From there, the 1-2 punch of Lenny Dykstra and Wally Backman continued to ignite a club that refused to yield its hold on the top spot. Putting hustle into muscle, Dykstra and Backman weren't pretty, but they got the job done.
You find yourself kind of worked your way up to the Mets. In fact, your very first game as a Met, you got a hit.
Yes, I did.
You remember that?
Absolutely. It was in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Yep. 1980.
What was it like, just to kind of get up there, the ladies and gentlemen now batting, Wally Backman?
I was 20 years old when I got to the big leagues, so it was it was exciting. It was almost scary in a sense, because I'm looking out at the players that they had. Ron Say at third base, Bill Russell, Davey Lopes, Steve Garvey, Rick Monday, all those guys, Reggie Smith, Dusty Baker, guys that I grew up as a kid kind of idolized. Pretty much the everyday second baseman in '84. Actually, it started out in '82. I played most of the time as well, but '84 was really the start. When Davey Johnson took over, he inserted me in the lineup on a regular basis.
How much to the fact that Davey Johnson was a second baseman? Did he take a liking to you?
I think so. Davey and I got along very well. I went down one year and played for Davey in the minor leagues, and had a great rapport with him.
All the pieces for a winning team were now in place. All that was needed was someone to lead them, and Cashin found that man right within his organization, Davey Johnson.
'86, obviously a pivotal year.
It was a good year. I hit 320 that year.
Right.
Yeah, I was a piece of the puzzle that helped get us to the World Series and win the World Series. So, we had a great chemistry. We had a good ball club. We had a lot of talent, but the chemistry, the way that we gelled together as a team you don't see that happen very often.
It's party time at Shea as 50,000 fans are generating their own electricity.
13 years of waiting.
Ground ball to second. Backman to Hernandez. The inevitable has finally become a reality. On September 17th, the New York Mets become champions of the National League's Eastern Division for 1986.
That '86 National League Series was Backman. Someplace, somewhere, you're there at the pivotal time, and all of a sudden you're scoring the big run. Did you kind of feel like that was sort of a magical series?
Well, it was my job. My job was to get on base, and I'd go up there at times and take a lot of pitches early in a game for guys like Keith Hernandez. Keith used to always tell me, "Wally, take some pitches here. I want to see what this guy's got." And that's our 3-hole hitter. That's our bread and butter, basically. And I would do those things. I'd fight and claw and do whatever I could to get on base.
Because I remember even in Game 6 that you drove in a run in the 14th and scored the game-winning run, and everybody was ecstatic.
Yeah, no, that was a great series. That was a series against Houston before we went to the series, and that was probably one of the best series I've ever played in.
With the Mets batting in the bottom of the 12th, Gary Carter came up big. Wally Backman scampered home with the deciding run, and the New Yorkers were now just one victory away from the...
I don't have enough words to describe how great it is to be going to the World Series.
This is an awful happy bunch of guys out here. We're just...
felt that we played the worst, whatever, that would have been game 6, I guess that was.
Game 6,
I thought we played the worst 6 games of the season in the World Series. We just didn't do the things that we did, in the Houston series or throughout the season. It was kind of frustrating, and then the magic came.
Did you believe it as it was kind of unfolding? Was there at some point where you'd say, God darn it, I think we might do this?
Yeah, pretty much when we got to when we got to Mookie, it was like, come on, Mook, just do something,
Yeah.
And, the big hits, Mitchell got jammed, Carter got the hit, Ray Knight got a hit. It started going, wow, maybe, because, hey, that's why you play 9 full innings.
That's right. Bob Stanley then throws the wild pitch.
Right, which I thought should have been caught, So, it's here and there, there's a lot of things that you can look at. McNamara all year long had used Dave Stapleton for defense for Buckner because he had the bad Achilles tendons. And in Game 6, I'm sure he was thinking, well, Buckner's played as long as he has. I want him to be out there to have the glory. But like I said, you got to play 9 full innings.
And you had to play a 7th game.
Absolutely. We felt good going into Game 7.
Was that your highlight?
I think so. I think that's the reason that you play the game of baseball, in my opinion, is to win championships. And we were fortunate to be able to do it that year.
6 hits in a game. Did you feel like you wanted to kiss the bat when the day was
No, it's a good story, too. That was in early May of 1990. And actually, Ted Power was the pitcher. We had 2 outs in the 9th. And I told Teddy, I says, Teddy, try to get a hit right here. I want to have a chance to try to get 6 hits. I've never had a chance to do that. And sure as behold, that was the only hit Ted Power got. He hit a double off the wall. It was the only hit I believe he got all year that year. So, yep. So that's memorable.
Well, then you get your 6th. That's terrific. While managing in the Western Baseball League, you were bit by a brown recluse spider.
Yes, I was. That's the scar on my forehead.
What the hell did you think was going on? Did you get sick right away?
It happened in the middle of the night. By the time I woke up in the morning, my forehead was swollen up pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's why I went right to the doctor's office then.
Of all the things,
No, it was crazy. It hurt too.
The fever and all that stuff.
Yep. I didn't hit many home runs, but I don't remember who it was against. If it was against the Giants, I think it was against the Giants, and I think it was against Mike Krukow.
Yeah. What's next? As you kind of project ahead.
I'm just, I'm really, after everything that I went through in Arizona, I'm here. The Wilpons gave me an opportunity to come back to organized baseball and let a lot of people make their own evaluations of me. That's why I'm back.
How are you finding it this year?
I'm finding it great. I'm having a blast in Brooklyn. It's been good. We've lost some tough ball games, but we'll get better. If there ever was really an idol, I would probably take it back to Pete Rose, because I remember as a kid of probably 14, 15 years old, and trust me, I'm fortunate enough to play against the guy, but to me, that's the way the game of baseball was supposed to be played.
Well, that's how you played it. Right?
Yep. A couple of guys that I had a tough time. Fernando Valenzuela was one of the toughest. I think in my career I was 1 for 19 off the guy. It didn't matter if I hit a ball hard; it was right at somebody. And then, but he would have been one of the toughest.
Remember that?
I remember it very well. You bet. That was an exciting time. That winning the championship. There's you can't. It's hard to put words on winning a championship. From the ticker tape parade that we had, it's almost like a blur when you go through the city and you see all those millions of people out there. And the fans of New York, I have to say, and it's not because I'm with the Mets, they're the best fans in baseball. They're the most knowledgeable people. But what a great place to play.